Hi, this is Sue Johnson, and today I want to bring you the step-by-step instructions for filling out our new revised James Method word study template. Here I have an example that uses the word commandment, and that's our starting point. In step 1, we want to list the specific word that we're studying, which oftentimes I will find as a result of a verse that I might be mapping or doing as part of an independent study. And that's step 2. I'm filling out the source verse, which in this example is John 13:34. Step 3 then involves using either a Strong's Concordance or equivalent electronic device, such as Blue Letter Bible, eSword, or something similar that allows me to do in-depth word studies. So in the next step, I want to identify the transliteration, which is the original Greek word that's been adapted into English, so it's bearing some sense of familiarity, followed by the next step, which is the Strong's Concordance number. And as a footnote, whenever we're working with words typically found in the New Testament, the Strong's Concordance reference number will start with the letter G, which indicates Greek. In the Old Testament, it will largely start with H, which stands for Hebrew. The next step involves identifying any root words or derivatives that the word commandment may have originated from. So again, I can find this by using the concordance, whether that's electronically or in the book. And here I'll identify that there in fact was a root word, and I'll list that information out here. So it's just allowing me to delve a little bit more deeply into the study. That is then followed by the next step, which is the actual definition. Now in definition, I can look at this in terms of the level of precision and detail I want to go into. I know for me, I love to use Blue Letter Bible, and oftentimes I will go right to the Thayer's Greek lexicon because it allows me to pinpoint the definition that I'm using. And that's exactly the case here. A commandment is defined as a prescribed rule in accordance with which a thing is done, and it is of the moral precepts of Christ and his apostles. That's then followed by step 7, which brings us to a new feature in our word study template, parsing the word we're studying. Parsing allows me to go in and identify the grammatical description of the word. Now, typically I use Blue Letter Bible for this. I know the ability to parse is also found on eSword. So here I'm identifying that the word commandment in this verse is used as a noun, in the accusative, the singular, and feminine. And this helps provide me with important information. Specifically in this example, the commandment is a noun that's a direct object of the verb in the verse, in meaning it's singular in number. There is one commandment that is being expressed by Jesus here, that is a new commandment, and that is, of course, the one to love one another. The next step is usage. Here we're listing by the books of the Bible the frequency with which this same Greek word for commandment is used throughout the New Testament. In addition to writing out each and every frequency of usage, I'm also looking for things like first mention, last mention, and most mentions. These are important because they allow us to determine key pieces of information in when this word commandment was first used in the New Testament, which would be Matthew 5, verse 19. Its last use is in Revelation, so we're spanning the entirety of the New Testament with this. And it's used most often in the book of 1 John. This allows us to identify some patterns of authors that use this word with great frequency or with great weight. That is then followed by the next step, which is the concordance. Whether I'm using, again, my Strong's Concordance or an electronic device, I can list any other ways that the word I'm studying is being translated. And so when I look this up, I see that it is used as both a commandment as well as a precept. That is then followed by step 10, lexicon. As is often the case with Greek and Hebrew, we can find that there is more than one word in the original biblical language than the word in English we are using. And definitely that's the case with the word commandment. And so by simply going to Blue Letter Bible or eSword and typing in that word, we can identify pretty quickly the various words that also mean commandment, charge, give, enjoin, authority, declare. So they can include both nouns as well as verbs. And then the last piece in this process is the main takeaway. And I really want to focus on main takeaway only after I've completed the study and allowed some time to pass and I've spent some time with God on what I've learned, what He has shown me through my time of study. And so in this case, what really resonated with me was it's the Apostle John who uses this word 30 times in his writings. Now again, that 30 is subject to which translation I'm using, and I tend to lean on the ESV. So it's placing weight on Jesus's commandments. John has more emphasis on the word commandment, specifically this word for commandment, than any other New Testament author. And specifically, this commandment is the one to love one another. And I find it compelling that John is the one who used this word with the greatest frequency. That's a quick look at our new word study template. I hope you find this walkthrough helpful. Take care.